Hey there everyone, welcome to the Glasgow to Dunblane and Alloa route by Thomson Interactive. Today we are driving train 1 Tango 80, which is the 536 Inverness to Glasgow Queen Street service. What we're going to do is we're going to arrive into Stirling here, and we're going to open the doors, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Can I bring us out to 20 for the platform? The last signal was a single amber section. We'll slow down a bit more. Yeah, got to stop on the banner repeater. Let that signal, let that break off. Just want to approach nice and slow. Probably a bit slower than I need to, but it doesn't really matter. Single amber, red ahead. We're stopping for the signal, not the platform. I do absolutely love this station model, I've got to say. So this, like I say, this is a scenario that is available from the Anton's and Sim website, train 1 Tango 80. It's not on my scenarios for a change. And we are going to draw up to, oh, there's the 6 card markers, so we'll just stop slightly long, that doesn't quite matter really. There we go. Reach the doors. Here, that beep boop, beep boop, that is exactly right for the 385s. Fun little nerd fact about the 385s. We will be, actually, sorry, I'm going to cover the 385. The reason we're not driving that in this video, 385 is cool, however, it's really loud! Like if I turn my game audio up to full, that's just loud. There you go. So we're just going to sit inside our little HST here. Oh, we've got the right way, so I'm going to go... Oh. Ah, okay. There we go, power on, let's go. So that basically the scripting in the scenario starts you off at speed, which causes some issues. So in an HST we use notch 3 of power to pull away. Our start speed limit today is 40 miles per hour. So select that as our starting speed today. Glasgow Queen Street is our next and final stop on the journey, which is 29.8 miles away. Like I say, I will be covering the 385 once there's a sound patch made for it. As soon as we get that, it'll be covered in a few videos because it's a great little train. And it really is like something we needed in TS for a little while now. Well, since it came out in 2019. And of course, the Inter7Cities are going to be on the way out of ScotRail as well, because the drivers' unions have said they're basically in the wake of the hang on, I've completely forgotten the name of the accident. The derailment in Stonehaven. They basically said this train isn't really safe anymore. Like, yeah, okay, we agreed it was in the past, but it's nowhere near modern safety standards. Buy something new, please. Which is fair enough. Yeah, so they're being what's called blacked, which is, well, not blacked, sorry, they are basically they're refusing to drive on certain days to cause disruption, to force ScotRail to at least sort of look into buying something different. Which is fair enough. You know, you don't want your drivers not getting paid, or your members are not getting paid, like, for a month, but also it causes enough disruption to hopefully affect change. Right, we're now at the doubled section, so we're now actually going up to 70. And then 95 once we pass it, which is going to be on the left there. That's the 95, so they go full powers on now. Got a bit of a rumble. Okay, so yeah, I do love the HSTs. They're just so nice. This, of course, is the Major Wales livery. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. We'll hit 90 and then put her into a coast. But the nice sort of wheelchair accessible bridges here, which is cool. 75. Like I say, we've got 90 is our maximum available speed. So the route for this route is absolutely great. I mean, it's a standard Thompson route. My primary feedback, away through the driver, is sort of line side clutter. It feels like I'm driving on a model railway, and that's just because it's too clean, it's too nice. I've got 95, so I'll go a little bit faster. I'll go notch 3 in, just to try and get us up to 95, and then we'll go back to notch 2 and do some stuff. It's quite a cruisy line, this, on this segment of the line at least. We'll then join on the standard Edinburgh to Glasgow route that we've driven in the 385 and Train Sim World, and arrive into Glasgow Queen Street. It's actually another route. I'm going to so obviously Train Sim World 4 is out. For me, it's next week because I pre-ordered. I'm going to get my route learning videos recorded because that's going to be a couple of weeks worth of content. But my long-term plans for that are actually going to be pretty cool. I am hoping to do some fairly extensive timetable reworks. So adding layers on to Edinburgh Glasgow for a bit more interesting stuff. Like the ones I'm interested in tackling. Learning exercise is going to be Edinburgh Glasgow because that's just a fun route, but also I can do a lot to that to make it look a bit nicer, especially with the LNER resumers now. That's a good shout. I can, yeah, so that's going to be fun. New formations are going to get made, and I'm going to do Inter7Cities on that route because there's the odd ECS run from Cada HST depot to Haymarket, so that's quite a fun little thing. Going a bit quick, so we'll correct our mistake. I'm not going to rerun the video, but this is literally how I'm going to do some videos sort of talking about devising gameplay content. Because as well in Train Sim Classic, this is a scenario. You know, in Train Sim World, this is timetable mode. Which is what I'm doing right now. So, you know, a scenario in TSW, sorry, is very different to a scenario in TS Classic. And that's sort of one of my things is I want to approach that and sort of say, right, how are we going to actually make some really great gameplay? So, like I say, for me, learning experience is going to be Edinburgh Glasgow, and then probably I'm going to mainly tackle Edinburgh Glasgow with the 801s. So you can do the Sterling, and we'll just wink, or we'll not wink. We'll just close our eyes and squint even, and pretend that it's an 800 because as far as Sterling, it runs on electric anyway. And you know you can do the Chieftain as well, which is another 2 sort of 4 trains a day. And then we can do a bit of 158 action and maybe some short form HST action as well. So yeah, there's that. Could probably tackle West. Thing is, like, I'm wanting to do bits of gameplay, like just interesting sort of experiences. I think West Somerset, that opens itself up to some really interesting gala action. Because you've probably got enough to make like either a fictional gala or some quite interesting like varied ones. Yeah, it's just like gameplay wise, there's some interesting stuff opening up. I probably on the American. I'm not got anything I want to do for German stuff right now, but to put into the corridor. This is Larbert that we're approaching. Larbert signal box there. This is actually on the original Edinburgh to Glasgow route. Looks very different to this. Well, it's got the knitting up now, but yeah. So Peninsula Corridor has got some interesting stuff to be done on it. Could add some interesting, a bit more sort of freight on there, and also a bit of shunting action with the MP15s. Could probably even do the Christmas train on that, and that would just be that gameplay complete. Alright, that was single amber. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Yeah, so we're still in the 70, but we're not actually going. So the line depot just left there. and that takes you. That's where the LNER service would go actually on this line, and that'll take you to Edinburgh via Falkirk High. I'm going to get my mouse out the centre of the screen. We'll see the neutral section there, but that wouldn't affect us, and we're going to keep rolling until we see our green aspect there, and we'll yeah, at that point, I mean, we'd be at 50, but we're at 50 now, so we'll roll over that, and then 100 once you get onto the main line. Green. I'm doing sort of commentary now because it's been a long day. It's 20 to 11 at night. I've actually been working from home today, and it was one hell of a day in the contact centre. I took 61 phone calls, and as an example, yesterday I took 16 in my entire shift. Tomorrow won't be. Oh, I just spotted this. I didn't know where this was on the route, but I just found it. So you got the Union Canal here. Oh, so this is where it would have caused the flooding. So the line flies under it. That's cool. I've been here actually. I'm sort of stood here, I think. And basically, it's like a ship lift. So you drive your narrowboat in here, and then if you go the other way, go and then down. I'm not sure how it would have worked before this, but probably some locks, I guess. But it's still pretty cool. And there's like a visitor centre here. I've never been in that, but yeah, I went here like once when I went to Fort William. This was the first break. We've been driving from Newcastle, guys, and this was the first proper break. Oh. So that was just a stressful experience. Yeah. So there you go. That is one of the key landmarks for this route. When we do the 385 runs, we'll go up to Dunblane and Alloa, and that way you'll be able to see the other stuff as well. You can take a 365 out on this line because the 365, the SME that Rivet had for Edinburgh to Glasgow, actually sort of said, yeah, I took a 365 up there on a test. I think I'm the only person who's ever done that. So that's my little sort of claim to thing for that is going to be like, we'll do that as a bit of a nod to them. But yeah, no, it's going good. I'm just so yeah, I've been releasing scenarios. So there's a couple of my scenarios already out that use a 385. That scenarios that I've pre-built. I've just sort of traded the 385 in for stuff. They're actually really old scenarios, like 5-year-old scenarios that I've just updated to use more modern stuff. We are now on the main line, so we can go up to 100. Sorry guys, I'm being distracted. But yeah, if you're interested in playing my scenarios, head to the trainsimcommunity.com website. They are all available there for free. Yeah, that's Train Sim Classic work. Train Sim World stuff is probably going to be free, at least initially, and then I may do paid content later down the line because it is night and day difference in terms of complexity between Train Sim Classic and Train Sim World. Train Sim Classic I can do for fun. Train Sim World, I tear my hair out. I used to tear my hair out. Bear in mind, the reason I'm saying I know this is in a former life I was a dev for Dovetail Games. And I still have a bit of an understanding of how the editor works, but not masses. And I still need to refresh myself because I've not touched it in 3.5 years. So yeah. But that's going to be fun. That'll be fun to play, and like I say, I'll be hoping to get you guys some content. At least, like I say, of the trains will be out fairly shortly because that's. Well, sorry, the route learners will be out fairly shortly because that's just going to be learn, drive, smash it out, and that's going to be the old 3 country corner. It's yeah, blood ends and all that. Sorry guys, I am being really bad here. No, we are still on 100. I'm just not paying attention to the world around me. We next slow down passing Cada HST depot. This is weird. I'm not normally this sort of unfocused. And if I was driving like this in reality, I'd be driving very cautiously, sort of 10 miles an hour below the limit, and then getting to the end of my journey and phoning myself in sick, if I'm honest. But that's just me. There's 100. Let's go! I think I might have been a bit quick there, but I don't. At this point, it's in the video. I don't even. I would say I would have spotted that mistake. There you go. don't know why I was singing the Ghostbusters theme tune there. But it's been a day. It's been one of those days. Yeah, I literally, so I had my 60 call day. I was so tired at the end of it that I was pretty much delirious. Got into bed, had a nap for 3 hours, and then now it's now. Just to clarify. Good. We'll just coast for now because we're basically at 100. So yeah, hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine's been very work-based. I'm off tomorrow though, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm probably filming a video as a certain green witch, or as a certain princess who wears a green dress. So it's a very green day for me tomorrow. I did wave to that driver, you just didn't notice. Yeah. So next time I'm looking out for is Cada Depot. We'll be dropping into there. We're dropping past there, and then that's where this train would live. So interestingly, actually, in the in the days of sort of 125s and 225s, the sets were allocated to a certain depot. So, for example, even now with the 225s, because obviously I get all the messages of faults and stuff, you get a message saying, you know, facilities reduced on insert service name here. This is missing. The sets, if it's a 225 set, it'll give the set number. So it'll be something like Neville Hill 13 or NL 13. Back in the day, you'd had Heaton, Bounds Green, and Craig and Tinney, all with their own sets. But nowadays, it's just you get with the Zoomers, you only get the unit number now. So you get like 800, 108, or whatever. Is default. But you'll get we get all sorts of weird ones. Like if there's things you wouldn't normally think about. If there's a toilet locked out of use, if it's one of the accessible toilets, so we need to be aware of that because some of our colleagues with passenger assistance, and we need to know if a customer requires a accessible toilet, that we'll either bump them into obviously a different coach that has the UAT functioning, or onto a different train if needed. You got this Croy station, sorry, that we're passing through. But it's also just good to know for complaints as well. And it also helps a lot with context. So if you're doing like a seat guarantee, and there were no seat reservations on the service, you know it's going to be a nightmare trying to find a seat already. So yeah. Because this is this is a decent quality for the route. Like I say, it's not perfect, and I maintain there should be a lot more sort of line side clutter available. But aside from that, it's pretty good. I quite enjoy it. Just gonna rag the engine a bit, just get a bit of power out of it. Get us back up to 100. I think my anxiety foot taps. I don't even know why, because I'm actually feeling reasonably relaxed. I think I'm tired. Probably should call it a night after this. I bought some. Yeah, so I've actually been doing some cooking exploration. So those of you guys who know me, which is personally, I don't cook much. Like I've been selling sort of ready meals and stuff that's easy to prepare. But one of my explorations into cooking has been ramen. So I had a Wagamama's trip with my sister, when she came over, and it sort of inspired me a little bit. So I made myself what I call poor girl ramen. So I got a sort of instant ramen from my local takeaway. Got some sort of diced like Italian beef, which was like seasoned and smoked from M&S, and some mozzarella cheese. Smash it all together. The beef, by the way, is diced, so even though it's not cooked, as soon as you put it in boiling water for more than a couple of seconds, it basically boils, but all the sort of juice gets let out of it, and it tastes amazing. And I know this is like, yes, I'm a chef now. No, I absolutely know I'm not, and I'm not saying I'm in any way good at food preparation. However, it's just progress, really. You know, like, for me, with the way my mental health gets, okay, oversharing coming, guys, sorry. But like, housework is hard, personal hygiene is hard, cooking is basically impossible. Just like the outlay of energy required is too much for my body or my brain, and yeah. So, like I did the biggest, like the video on my cosplay channel has been out for about a week now. It got recorded about 2 weeks ago. The dress is still waiting to be put back in you know, in the storage place that it lives in. Sorry, I can't speak English today. Okay, got cautionary signals. So I'll just coast it now. Double amber. Single amber next. Okay, so we do need to be at 85 anyway after the depot, so I'm going to slow down a bit early, just since we're on a cautionary signal so that we don't catch the train up in front of us. That's Cada HST depot on the left hand side there. See, it's newly constructed to support HSTs in Scotland, and it is literally... I remember playing in TS Classic an AP scenario with taking a 37 with some tanks on it, I think, and being looped at Cada. So, yeah. Single amber next. Single amber, red ahead. Just going to pile the brake on, slow down to about 30, 35, and then just creep forward from there. What if Oh, the AWS ramp in panic, but no, there's no signal yet. Yep, red ahead. Yeah, there's red both sides now, so that's great. Skim the speed off. We're just going to stand against the signal. In fact, I can skim the speed right off now. Take all the speed out of the train. Won't be no faster than 15 over the magnet. It's about what I was at. We'll approach it at, yeah, because you can see, it'll take a second for the air pressure to drain out the brakes. I'm going to creep up to the signal, and we're going to stop against the we'll stop up against the signal and wait for it to clear. So, sorry, I'm just trying to find things to talk about. So overall, like I say, this route, I do recommend it. The 385's got some nice features which we'll cover off on. It's just the sounds that let it down. Again, it's just so loud. And you literally, like, I was testing the scenarios with my headphones off because of how loud it was. There we go. So I'll use full service brake, reverse it to neutral, DRA set, and we'll sit here and wait for now till that signal clears. Alright, a little dicky bird tells me, there we go, the signals has just cleared. Alright, let's go places. Go places, do things. So, notch 3 of power, brakes falling away now. Single amber, red ahead, so we are proceeding at caution, knowing the next signal is likely a danger aspect. Got the AWS sunflower illuminator to remind us of that. That reminds me, should turn the DSD on. So we are going to be running under cautionary aspect until... Oh, we're running at caution, so ready to stop at the next signal. Until we can see the next signal and know what that indicates. Notch 3 of power is what I am reliably informed is what you would use to pull away in an MTU engined HST, which is what this happens to be today. Yeah, it's actually cross-country HSTs no longer run up to Scotland now, which is sad. No, I've been debating whether I'd like go and catch one last time, but I think the LNER ones are the ones I had memories of, and that's like, you know, I had never actually caught a cross-country HST in service. So, yeah, it, you know, seems weird to say, but never caught one. Never got lucky, so it is what it is. Got a single amber red again, so we'll let the speed increase. I'll probably drop us back to notch 2 actually, just so it's a bit slower, just to give that train in front of us a bit of space. So obviously it's a stopper, so you know we are going to be following it down into Glasgow. And I also know the speed limit drops as we approach Glasgow. There's no point in us piling at the back of him, or piling up against the next red signal. You know, when we can just take our time a little bit and let him get some space to make it a bit more of a comfortable ride for the passengers. Also, from a risk assessment perspective, like I mentioned, I'm feeling pretty tired now. You know, I could do with a break, so I'm going to be driving a bit more cautious, to give myself a bit more space and a bit more time to react to things. 85, passing through Bishop Briggs. Just blasting the horn at those guys because they're behind the yellow line. Double amber, single amber next. By verbalising it, it puts it into my basically different part of my memory. I find it in its a way that it's much easier to sort of remember what's going on. That's the signalling centre, I believe, that Bishop Briggs, and we'll. At least it looks like one, a typical sort of design of one. So it's a 50 limit coming up, so I'm not trying to power again, just sustain us at 50 because it's a 50 for a little while, but then drops to a 30. We're passing Eastfields Depot on the left hand side shortly. One of the more rougher parts of Glasgow, but it's a pretty cool little depot and really quite big actually. So I guess it's more of a sort of glorified stabling site, but back in the day this would have been one hell of a depot. You've only got sort of one maintenance shed. All the maintenance on the 800 series stock is done at Miller Hill or Craigentiny. Single amber red ahead. So bring us down to 30 because I know that's the next speed limit. We'll let that speed scrub off. But the line coming in from the right there, which is the line from sort of Helensburgh way. The line diverging off to the left takes us towards Shieldmere, I believe. Yeah, so see the line from the right, we came down that line when we did the Helensburgh upper, well, yeah, the Helensburgh to Glasgow run in the Class 156. Obviously backdated quite a few years to compare to what you see now, but still just a little interesting run for you all. So just coasting down the approach here now. Red ahead, take the red. 385 coming out. Bit quick over the magnet. Oh, single amber. There we go, continuing. Cleared up to a double, so we'll go back up to 30. If I do 20, that'd be a good place to sit. In that way, because 20 is the lower revised speed limit, and just mean, like I say, if it gives us a bit of space to coast up to 30. And we'll give the person or the train in front of us a bit of space to get away from us. Sorry, I'm just rather sleepy. And see the red peeking out of me in the tunnels there in the centre. I don't know how well that shows up on YouTube. Scrub that speed to 30. We descend into Queen Street tunnels. No tunnel into Queen Street tunnel, sorry. When we appear out of this tunnel, we'll be in Glasgow Queen Street station. And it's Glasgow Queen Street, upper level. So it is a 20, but that's at the next signal. So there you go, clear to a green, so that means we're cleared at the platform, which is good to know. So I'll roll in a little bit hotter. Hotter. Three at 5, quite a bit of intensity in the service now coming out of Glasgow there. So another 3 at 5. On the Morpeth board. It's not this signal. It's actually it's this signal. Maybe 20. Oh, I believe it's actually the next, but there we go. So this signal here is where I want to be at 24. There we go. Give the 385 a wave. That right there, that's why I'm not running it yet. Like, I'm having to speak up, and that's the next train across that I can hit. Yeah, they're just not that loud. Like, they're not quiet, but they're not that loud either. Gotta say, this is a lovely little route. I would love the Highland Main Line, but I don't think that's going to be coming anytime soon. That's the only other route I really want in TS right now for Scotland. And I mean, I suppose for my completionist also wants Dundee to Aberdeen. But, yeah. If once we had that, you'd have the majority of the primary routes in Scotland. You'd have them all, really. Except for, no, I suppose if you had Highland Main Line and you'd have the majority of sort of primary routes in Scotland. In TS, which would be quite cool. Tweedbank as well, that'd be quite a fun little route to have. But it's Thompson's releasing stuff like this, which leads me to believe. Obviously, TS Classic isn't dead for them. It is for Dovetail now, but well, it's not actually. They're doing the beta, which I'm not doing anything with because I haven't got the space to do a backup. So there you go. So this is us at Glasgow Queen Street. I've actually visited here. I will tell you a strange little story whilst we wait for this scenario to end. Go. What we'll do, reverse it off. Headlights. Just to show you really quickly, I went to Glasgow once by accident. This isn't a Cafe Nero here. It's like a little sort of independently owned and operated. Also, Greg's. Independently owned and operated, and it was. To be honest, it felt like I was in like a scene from Waitress or something like that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really weird experience, and I'll probably cover further in the video. Thank you for watching, though. If you did like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe to more from me on a regular basis. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.